The inaugural Ohio Valley Bowl Series took place at Walnut Hills High School in Cincinnati, Ohio, featuring 4 of the Midwest's top teams duking it out for right to take a spot at the Dirty Bowl in Atlanta. The first semifinal featured 2 teams that finished as runners-up in their league. The Columbus Gladiators from the Blue Collar Football League and the Indiana Tornadoes from the Battleground Football League. The Gladiators got off to a fast start. On the second play from scrimmage, Mike Haynes took a handoff around the left end, slipped through a pair of tacklers, and he was off for a 56-yard touchdown and a workmanlike 6-0 lead for Columbus. Columbus gets the ball back after a 3-and-out, and again they turn to Haynes. Once again he goes around the left side. It's tough to bring down, but the Tornadoes finally manage to get him down after an 11-yard gain. Later on in the drive, he takes a pitch out to the left, again down the sidelines, and he just is going to step out at the 2-yard line just before getting into the end zone. The Tornadoes defense stiffens and forces 4th and goal. Ben Kershaw rolls right, can't find anybody, goes back to the left, still looking, and decides to take it himself, reaches out and just gets it over the goal line. Yes, that is a touchdown. Just over 10 minutes into the game, the Gladiators now lead 14-0. Columbus is driving again into the second quarter. Travis Birdsong now quarterback. He rolls around to the right, stops, cuts back left, finds plenty of room to get down to the 5-yard line. The Gladiators do get pushed back, but on 3rd and goal, Mike Haynes, once again, this time to the right side, steps through a tackle and in for his second touchdown. The Gladiators are in control, up 20-0. The teams trade possessions, and Indiana gets back late in the first half. When Corey Bridges takes this handoff, he breaks a long run. There is a block on the back penalty right there, but the play is still good for the Tornadoes' first down of the game. 2 plays later, R.J. Sutton gets behind the defense. Maurice Jones finds him deep. He hauls it in. It is good for a 45-yard touchdown, and the Tornadoes are now within 20-6. Columbus looks to respond before the half. The 2 quarterbacks flip the ball back and forth, with Birdsong finding Kershaw for an 11-yard gain. Then Kershaw with a more conventional 11-yard pass, this one to Lee Saunders into Tornadoes territory. And then Kershaw with just a little flip to Jeremy Williams. He takes it down 21 yards to the 13-yard line with under a minute remaining. Then comes the play of the game on 4th and 10 with 21 seconds remaining. Kershaw takes a snap. He decides he's going to run for the end zone. He's almost there, but Isaiah Moore knocks the ball loose and the Tornadoes pick it up. James Fields tracks it down, can't quite make the tackle for the Gladiators, and it looks like smooth sailing all the way to the end zone for Indiana. But Fields fights through another blocker and tracks him down, pushes one Tornado player into the ball carrier down at the 4-yard line, a 91-yard return, but neither team gets a touchdown as time runs out in the first half. Columbus still leading 20-6. In the second half, Fields gets to show what he can do on offense. He takes a handoff, nice little spin move, and picks up 17 yards down to the 24. But on the next play, Kershaw looks to pass. They can't quite haul it in. And Taryn Grubbs-Hupp picks it off for the Tornadoes. He picks up 17 yards on the return, plus a penalty at the end of the play. Moves the Tornadoes ahead to the 48. Columbus gets payback on the very next play. After the pump fake, the ball is tipped, and Michael Hudson is there to pick it off for Columbus. He brings it to midfield for the Gladiators. Columbus turns it over on downs, and Corey Bridges takes the handoff. This time there are no penalties as he bursts through the line, cuts to the right, gets down to the 2-yard line with a 36-yard gain. The penalty pushes the Tornadoes back, however, and on 4th and goal, they're looking for the end zone. But Bradley Booker is there. He breaks up the pass and gets the ball back to the Gladiators. Jeremy Williamson helps Columbus get out of the shadow of its own goal line. He goes around the right side, picks up 21 yards, out past the 30. Into the fourth quarter, James Fields, he's now a quarterback, keeps it himself, goes out for a 13-yard pickup. Fields again, a quarterback, goes around the right side, gets another 13 yards inside the 30-yard line. Then the Gladiators go back to Haynes. He bounces out left. He's in for his third touchdown of the game, a 21-yard score, capping a 9-play, 95-yard drive. The 2-point conversion puts Columbus ahead 28-6. Indiana is able to mount one last drive with Marcus Richardson hauling in this pass from Jones for a 15-yard touchdown to make it 28-12. But with just 3 minutes remaining, the Gladiators able to run out the remaining time and claim the win, again 28-12. The Gladiators finished with 290 rushing yards on 35 carries, an average of 8.3 yards per carry, as Michael Haynes, James Fields, Travis Birdsong, and Jeremy Williams all averaged over 9 yards per carry. Haynes led the group with 13 carries for 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. Ben Kershaw completed 7 of 21 passes for 83 yards and had the Gladiators' other touchdown. The Tornadoes managed to run for 102 yards on 15 carries, good for a 6.8 yard per carry average, with Corey Bridges leading the way with 9 carries for 79 yards. Maurice Jones completed just 3 of 18 passes, but 2 of those went for touchdowns and had 78 yards passing. But the Gladiators had a dominating edge in time of possession, 39 minutes and 27 seconds to 20 minutes and 33 seconds for the Tornadoes. The second semifinal featured 2 teams that had made the Blue Collar Football League Conference Finals, the Cincinnati Dukes from the Western Conference and the Port City Spartans from the Eastern Conference. It was the Spartans who controlled things early. On the second play of the game, Deion McKinley had a clear path to the quarterback and he brought down Kamani Murray for a sack. Then on 4th and 2, McKinley again got into the backfield, stopped Brent Robinson for loss, and the Spartans took over on downs. Spartans quarterback Trey Timmerman then scrambled his way through the Dukes defense. He got all the way down to the 7-yard line for a 19-yard gain. But on 4th and goal, his pass for Jermaine Payton was batted away, and the Dukes held on downs. Port City still managed to get on the board. Brent Robinson stopped in the backfield again, this time by Williams Parks. That's a safety, and the Spartans take a 2-0 lead. After being held to minus 4 yards in the first quarter, the Dukes offense gets going in the second quarter. Murray drops back and finds Darion Brown for a 10-yard gain on the first play of the quarter. Later on 4th and 1, he finds Tay White for a leaping catch and a first down.
There you go, White. There you go.
On the next play, it's Justin Cornwall. He picks up 11 yards into Spartan territory. After an incomplete pass, Murray steps up. He finds Tay White for 18 yards. Cincinnati then goes to the ground. It's Brent Robinson right up the middle for a 10-yard pickup. And Murray caps off the drive, floating this 14-yard touchdown to Cornwall. The Dukes take the lead 6-2. 2 plays into Port City's next drive, the Dukes defense applies the pressure, and Leandre Pope is there to intercept the pass, setting the Dukes up at the Spartans' 45. Cincinnati is initially pushed back on yet another Deion McKinley sack, his second of the game. But then Murray pump short, looks deep, finds Justin Cornwall for a 23-yard pickup. And then Murray fires over the middle to Tay White for a 16-yard touchdown, putting the Cincinnati Dukes ahead 14-2. When Port City gets the ball back after the kickoff, the snap goes past the quarterback. C.J. Moore for the Dukes is able to track it down and give them great field position. But Deion McKinley gets around the edge again, brings down Murray for his third sack of the first half, and the Dukes end up turning it over on downs. Cincinnati managed to get the ball back at midfield, and that's when Kamani Murray pushes a short pass that Brent Robinson carries ahead for 12 yards. Murray then connects with Darion Brown over the middle for a 19-yard gain down to the 17 at the 2-minute warning. Then came a pass to Cornwall. He juked his way down to the 4-yard line. And on 3rd and goal, Darian Brown wins the jump ball for the touchdown. The 2-point conversion now puts the Dukes ahead 22-2. Getting the ball back with just 15 seconds left in the half, Timmerman launches a deep pass to Trey Craycraft, manages to juggle and haul in down to the 38 with 5 seconds remaining. But the Dukes bring him down in the backfield on the next play, ending a dominating quarter that puts them ahead 22-2 at halftime. The Spartans get the ball to start the second half, but Dante Jackson makes sure the Dukes maintain their momentum. First, he charges ahead for a sack on the second play of the half. Then with Port City going for it on 4th down, Jackson's there for the interception, and he'll return it all the way down to the Spartans' 30-yard line. The Dukes turn to Brent Robinson from there. He bursts ahead for 10 yards down to the 3-yard line. And the next play, he'll find his way ahead into the end zone for a touchdown. Another 2-point conversion is good, and the Cincinnati Dukes now lead 30-2. The Dukes maintain that lead into the 4th quarter, when with just over 5 minutes remaining, Duke Edwards hits Cody Tolley over the middle. He weaves us through around to the right side, and he's going to make his way into the end zone for a 73-yard touchdown. The 2-point conversion makes it 30-10. An onside kick by the Spartans fails, and with Tay White now at quarterback, he connects with Mike Clay. He works his way ahead into the end zone for a 23-yard touchdown to get the Dukes lead back to 36-10. On the Spartans' next play, Edwards fires a deep pass. Tanner Richards hauls it in and eases his way into the end zone for a 57-yard touchdown. Another 2-point conversion is good, making it 36-18. With just over 2 minutes remaining, the Spartans go for another onside kick, and this time Levi McNair is there to recover it, giving Port City another opportunity. Faced at a 4th down, Edwards heaves another deep pass, and once again, Richards is there to haul it in and get into the end zone for a 35-yard touchdown. Port City has a chance to pull within 10 with just over a minute remaining, but the ball comes loose. Tay White picks it up. He's clear sailing, and despite the best efforts of Trey Craycraft, he's going to make it all the way into the end zone for a 2-point conversion by the defense, putting the Dukes lead at 38-24. That's pretty much how things would end. The Dukes would hold on for a 38-24 victory. The game featured 4 touchdowns and 30 points over the last 5 minutes and 3 seconds, but was really decided in the 2nd and 3rd quarter when the Dukes scored 30 straight points. The yardage was pretty even, with the Dukes holding a 291 to 265 yard edge, but the Spartans turned the ball over 4 times while the Dukes turned it over just once. Murray was 20 of 31 for 235 yards and 3 touchdowns for the Dukes. He completed passes to 7 different receivers. Justin Cornwall was the leading one of those receivers with 7 catches for 72 yards and a touchdown. Duke Edwards completed just 4 of 11 passes for the Spartans, but 3 of them were for touchdowns, totaling 172 yards. On defense, Deion McKinley had 6 tackles, 4 of them for a loss, including 3 sacks. So that sets up the finals in 2 weeks, with the Cincinnati Dukes taking on the Columbus Gladiators at Walnut Hills High School in Cincinnati, with a spot in the Dirty Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on the line.